Hey, what's going on, guys? YouTubers, and all. This is Jamil here, and today, we got the official ban list of April 11th, 2016, and I gotta tell you guys, there were some things I kind of knew would be on the list, but I mean, other things are just unexpected, and all in all, I'm very, very disappointed in how Konami is going down the slippery slope with not handling certain problems. But you know, if you don't believe me, you can go on the actual website and check it out for yourself. So straight away, I'm just going to start with the ban cards. We have Chicken Game, which was it's a very unexpected hit for Chicken Game to get the ban hammer. If all honesty, I thought the Life Equalizer above all would take a smack over the Chicken Game, but in a way, Chicken Game does kind of help not only drop your life points, get you the extra draw. You don't take damage if you're not playing Magical Explosion FTK, but it also it just gives you fuel for pseudo space and all that other, mess. So, I mean, I guess Konami did kind of do good there, hitting all the consistency cards. I guess that's all I gotta say for that one. Next, we have Wavering Eyes, also a ban hammer. If anybody looked at my last video, I predicted it will get limited because, Konami's been, pushing hardcore pendulums, just pushing pendulums, so I didn't think they would actually ban the Wavering Eyes. I thought they'd maybe, limit it, to keep pendulums, standing strong a little bit, but I guess Konami's actually listening, to the fans and listening to people talking about how Wavering Eyes is very absurd, which it was. I mean, I even said it was. I said it was absurd at 3, though. But banned? Still kind of iffy. But those are literally the only 2 cards banned. Oh, and all the other stuff that was added on the adjusted list, that's all the same. That's why you don't see Luster Pendulum or any of that other stuff. So, Damage Juggler, Flash Fire, that's all still gone. Next, we have a Wisdom Eye Limited. I never thought they would touch Wisdom Eye, to be honest. But, I guess seeing as a Wavering Eyes might take a hit, Wisdom Eye, the whole Magician engine for Draco Pals might have been the next best thing. So they went ahead and limited Wisdom Eye. I mean, in my opinion, and Konami probably knew it, 3 Wisdom Eye is a lot better than Pendulum Call due to the fact that it fuels your extra deck. So that was a very unexpected hit. So that does indirectly hurt Odd Eyes Magician decks as well. So that kind of sucks. Reasoning, I never really saw a problem with Reasoning. I mean, yeah, when Cosmo were using it before Tin Can, it was a problem, but since Tin Can and, the Dark Eclipser came out, it's saw less use. The only use it saw was in Infernity, and last I checked, Infernoid. Infernoid wasn't necessarily, up there with, the Monarchs and the Draco Pals and all that. But, they can do what they want. I mean, it didn't really matter to me much anyway, but the Inferno players would be kind of upset. I predicted the Draco face-off being limited. I mean, there's not much to say about it. I mean, it was, in my opinion, Draco face-off was much more, is much better than Wavering Eyes due to the fact that you get instant access to Luster Pendulum for free without blowing up your scales. So, I mean, I predicted that. Next, we have Upstart Goblin. That I didn't see coming at all. I mean, I can't even remember when the last time it was actually limited. To be honest, it was a long time ago. But, I guess the fact that it's such a staple in every darn deck at 3 to quote-unquote make your deck 37. I mean, I never used Upstart because I was just one of those guys where I just say, there's better cards to use other than Upstart. It's like, why Upstart to a bottomless when you can just run the damn bottomless, right? That's my opinion. I mean, the whole numbers thing I mean, yes, obviously numbers make sense, but is it worth it? I mean, does it really change your odds by that much to such a degree to where you're just, almost guaranteed to, beat or gain an advantage over an opponent that doesn't use upstarts? I mean, that was always my opinion. So, and next we have 1,000 Eyes Restrict getting unbanned 2-1, which is awesome for all you old school players out there. I mean, Metamorphosis is still gone, so I mean, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with this 1,000 Eyes Restrict. I mean, we don't even have Future Fusion. So I mean, I honestly didn't see a point of putting it to 1. You may as well put it to 3. I mean, it's not gonna make much of a difference without Metamorphosis. Ignis Stir to 1. You know, of all honesty, I kind of maybe saw it going to 2. But 1, it's kind of, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the Ignis Stir going to 1. I mean, Ignis Stir was never really the problem in Draco Pals. It was the consistency. You know, it was the Wavering Eyes, the Draco face-off, the multiple monkey boards. All that good stuff. All that consistency cards that can consistently bust out these cards were the problem. It wasn't, the actual card itself. But, the fact, I'll get to it later why I'm upset with this. It's not just the hit, it's just what they did and didn't do. So, also, Norden, I'm surprised it didn't get banned. But because, Norden is more or less a part of every player's win condition, that use Norden. So, from where I'm standing right now, I'd say the one Norden still doesn't make a difference due to the fact that I believe people will still use 3 Insta-Fusion just to draw into it faster, to get into their Norden, to get to their win condition and win the game. I mean, I still believe people will just use 3 just to draw it faster. That's why I believe just the one Norden doesn't change much. I mean, you generally don't see a second Norden in a game. You generally don't. So it never really mattered. But, it's whatever. Next we have semi-limited cards. We got Breed Dragon. I don't know why it was at 1, so that's awesome. Allure of Darkness at 2. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, obviously BA still don't use Allure of Darkness, but, I'm glad Darks are getting a little bit more support. All we need now is Dark Arm Dragon to go up to 2 or 3. And then there's going to be hell to pay. So, E-Tele, I predicted that in my last video, going to 2. I knew that wasn't going to limit it due to the other support coming out, They're not going to totally make other Psychic decks useless because Cosmo, just want to be just Cosmo. Next we have the cards at 3. We got Dark Magician of Chaos. I kind of knew that was going to happen. I kind of predicted that. Trag to 3. I'm not complaining. Lightsworn players need the boost. Advanced Ritual Art. Well, Necros don't see much play. I mean, there's the Exodia Necros deck, but I mean, it's already consistent enough. If you get access to Gale Dagger, you win the game. So, 3 Crush Card Virus. Not a big deal, to be honest, considering you don't see any play. I'm still curious as to why BA do not use Crush Card, especially if you know the Monarch, especially now. Now that we got this list, what have you noticed? You notice there is nothing, like Monarchs took no hit whatsoever. No Pantheism, no Monarch Stormforth, no Domain. That is all still very much at 3. So at this point, now that we know the Monarch matchup is going to be extremely high along with the Cosmo matchup because no Cosmo Town got limited, no Dark Destroyer, no Farm Girl. That's all still at 3. Very much at 3. So they just neutered Draco Pals, but did nothing to the other top contenders. So, Crush Card Virus, not so good against Cosmo, obviously, but against Monarchs, you're going to need it. Especially, you're going to want to go first. going to want to go first. I mean, I don't know why Crush Card. I mean, let's hope Crush Card will see more play now that the Monarch matchup is going to be higher. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to quit on Draco Pals. Me, I'm not going to. I'm still going to, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to find a way to still make them compete against decks like Cosmo Monarch. And so that brings me back to this Ignis Stir. This is why I'm upset. You hit the Ignis Stir down to 1, but it's 2850. It's not a 3 grand beater. It doesn't target, which is good, but which is kind of powerful. But Erebus is more or less the same thing. It fuels, it thins the deck, and it spins any card from your hand as well and graveyard back into the deck. Meanwhile, you still have 3 Pantheism, 3 Stormforth. As I've said, I'd sooner the Stormforth get the limit over the Domain due to the fact that it's infinitely harder to play through Stormforth with Ether in hand than the Domain. I mean, the Domain is fine. I mean, you got Archfiend Eccentrics, you have Typhoons, you got Galaxy Cyclones for UBA players that are smart, and that will at least run 1 to dump for Beatrice if you know you're going up against Monarch. You can answer Domain. I mean, even before Pals activating Turn Toads and all that, just to run over the Monarchs. I mean, that's okay, but it's just like the whole Stormforth with Ether and set Stormforth and Ether in hand is just so much harder to play through because you can keep doing it over and over and over again, and there's no way to get past it, and you just lose. But that's what I'm upset. They went hard after Draco Pals. I mean, Draco Pals, yes, they were still topping, but a lot more decks topped. Burning Abyss is like definitely a top contender now that Beatrice is out. It's Monarchs. I mean, you got everything in a mix. You got a square format. You had a square format. You got Cosmo, Monarch, Draco Pal, Burning Abyss. I'd say if you're gonna hit a top deck, you gotta hit them all equally. That's my opinion, but I guess Konami is, I don't know what they're thinking. As I said, they're going down a slippery slope. So, this is the beginning of some sort of dark day, because even Cosmo players and Monarch players can see just how absurd this ban list really is. I mean, they all prepared their decks for certain hits. I mean, my friend, he plays Monarchs. I can't stand Monarch, but we challenged ourselves. I made it to where he played with 1 Stormforth and 1 Pantheism. In exchange, I played with 1 Wavering Eyes and one Draco Face-Off. That was fair. That's completely fair on both ends. We would win and lose games back and forth. I mean, that was what would have been fair. See, with Cosmo, my other friend, he's over in Korea right now. He's in the army. He plays Cosmo. I would have challenged him to play 2 Telly, 2 Farm, or 1 Tink, 2 Telly, 1 Tin Can, and 1 Cosmo Town, and that would have been fair. That would have been a very fair matchup because those are all consistency cards. And Stormforth is just kind of a bitch card to get over, considering it doesn't target, it doesn't destroy, so it doesn't liven up a lot of effects. But yeah, Cosmo players and Monarchs players, I guarantee you can definitely see something wrong with this list, and it's just like now we're turning our heads towards Konami and just being like, what the hell are you thinking? Like, what is the reason behind neutering 1 deck? It completely violates everything that, it violates the law of Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. When you reprint something, you hit it soon after. So I was even predicting Burning Abyss taking some sort of hit. I mean, Cosmo literally got everything in the reprint, and nothing about Cosmo got smashed. No Monarchs got smashed. But now I'm looking at Konami as in, your logic and reasoning behind these hits, and not looking at other things equally is your logic and reasoning is getting kind of faulty, and it's like it makes me not want to, how should I say? play competitively. But, that's my opinion. That's the 2016 ban list. Let me know what you guys think about it. Signing out for now.